Hey everyone, welcome back. You know how we're always talking about riding that AI wave? Well, get ready to dive right in, because today we're all about turning that AI knowledge into action. You know, actually using it to get things done.
Real world stuff.
Exactly. And to guide us on this deep dive, we're taking a look at a recent episode of the podcast Inteligencia Artificial PPT.
Which, for those of us who don't speak Spanish.
It is in Spanish. But no worries, we've got you covered. We've gone through and pulled out all the good stuff, translated it so you can steal all their AI productivity secrets.
Steal all their secrets. I like it.
Right. And one thing that really struck me about this podcast was they don't waste any time with the AI hype.
They jump right in.
Yeah. Like, how do we use this to be more productive right now?
It's refreshing, actually. A lot of folks are still talking about what AI will do someday. These guys are like, nope, it's already happening.
Oh, okay. I'm intrigued. Give me an example. What kind of cool stuff are they already doing with AI?
Well, they spend a lot of time on what they call IA Generativa, which is basically generative AI.
Catchy.
Right. And one example that really stuck with me was in medicine. Imagine AI looking at medical data, like way more than a doctor ever could.
Okay, like what? Give me the details.
So think about scans, test results, all that stuff. AI can analyze it all and catch diseases super early.
Whoa, so we're talking early detection.
Exactly. Even stuff like cancer, catching it way before traditional methods.
Now that's what I call putting AI to work. That's some serious real-world impact.
Right. And that's really what this whole deep dive is about, right? Making AI accessible and understandable, even if you're not,
a tech genius.
Exactly. You don't have to be a tech genius to get this.
Okay, so they've got all this amazing potential lined up. What do they actually suggest people do? How can we tap into this AI power?
Well, the podcast actually walks through a whole toolkit of AI tools that, like, anyone can start using today. Are you ready for the AI productivity power up?
Hit me with it. Let's unlock that AI potential.
All right. So first up, one that I'm sure you've heard of, ChatGPT.
Oh, yeah. Our AI chatbot friend.
Right. But the podcast goes beyond the basic uses. They're talking about using it for drafting emails, creating content, brainstorming ideas.
Whoa. Slow down. Emails I get. But creating content, brainstorming, like how?
That's the cool part. It's like having a 24/7 assistant. They even talk about using it for very specific stuff like digital marketing tasks.
It's like having a team of AI helpers at your beck and call.
Yeah.
Okay, what else is in this AI toolkit of theirs?
All right, so speaking of time saving, they also rave about Canva AI.
Canva, like the design platform. I love Canva.
Of course you do. Well, imagine Canva, but supercharged. They were saying it can basically create stunning visuals for you, even if I
have the design skills of a potato.
Hey, I was trying to be polite, but yeah.
Yeah.
Think presentations, social media posts, marketing materials.
Hold on. So it's not just like picking a template and changing the font. It's actually designing stuff for you.
That's exactly what they're saying. And they sounded pretty passionate about it too. One of the hosts was even saying Canva AI has saved them from like total social media meltdown more than once.
Okay, now I'm really interested. Like, what kind of stuff were they using it for? Give me the specifics.
Well, they were really into the social media aspect, generating social media graphics in like seconds. It can even suggest layouts and color palettes based on your brand.
So you're saying even I could have a cohesive looking social media presence? This is blowing my mind a little. Okay, this is great, but we're not just talking text and images here, right? What about video? So did this podcast have any AI magic for video? Video editing is like my kryptonite.
Oh, they had you covered.
Yeah.
They talked about these tools, Pictory AI and Synthesia. They can apparently make professional-looking videos even if you have
zero editing skills.
Let's just say you don't need to be a pro. They said these tools use AI to do most of the heavy lifting.
Okay, now we're talking. So I can go from idea to finished video without spending hours wrestling with software.
That's the idea. They even claimed it can be fun.
All right, I might have to test that theory. So we've got AI writing emails, designing graphics, even editing videos. Is there anything AI can't do?
Right. It's a lot. And they had even more tools up their sleeve. Remember how we were talking about AI generating those social media images earlier?
Yeah, Canva AI, right.
Exactly. Well, they also talked about Leonardo AI, which takes it a step further.
Oh, how so?
Well, instead of just choosing from existing images or templates, Leonardo AI actually generates completely new images from scratch, just from your descriptions.
Wait, hold on. I can just type in create an image of a fluffy cat wearing a tiny hat and riding a unicorn on the moon, and it'll just make it.
That's what they said.
Yeah.
And not just like a blurry mess. They were sharing examples and everything, and the quality was amazing.
Okay, I am so trying this later. This is too cool. But, okay, real talk for a second. With all these amazing AI tools, how do you even keep track of it all?
You read my mind. Organization is key. And of course, this podcast had some ideas about that too.
Let me guess. AI-powered organization.
You know it. They're big fans of Notion AI.
Notion. Oh, I love Notion. It's like my second brain.
Right. Well, imagine that, but with superpowers. They talked about how Notion AI can help you organize all your notes and ideas, summarize key points, even generate different kinds of content from them.
Wait, really? Like, what kind of content are we talking about here?
Blog posts, social media updates, meeting notes, whatever you need. It's like having an AI assistant that knows exactly what you're working on and how to help.
That sounds amazing, but also a little overwhelming. Like, how do you even know where to start with all of this?
Well, that's actually a really important point, and it's something the podcast emphasized. It's not enough to just have the tools, right? You have to know how to use them effectively.
So it's not enough to just have a hammer. You got to know how to swing it.
Exactly. And that's where prompt engineering comes in.
Prompt engineering. Okay, that sounds kind of intimidating. Like, do I need an engineering degree to use AI now?
No, not at all. It's basically just about learning how to communicate effectively with AI, how to give it the right instructions to get the results you want.
So, like, talking to AI in a way it understands?
Exactly. And it turns out the way you phrase things can make a huge difference. They gave some really interesting examples in the podcast.
Okay, you have to give me an example. What kind of difference can the right prompt make?
Okay, so let's say you're using ChatGPT to write an email, right?
Yeah, like we talked about earlier.
Right. So if you just tell it, write an email, it's not going to know what you want, right?
It's like walking into a restaurant and just saying, food, please.
Exactly. You're not going to get very far.
I'd probably end up with a bowl of soup, and I actually hate soup.
Yeah.
So what do you do instead? How do you give AI the right instructions?
Well, instead of just saying, write an email, you need to be specific. The podcast gave an example like, write a professional email requesting a meeting using a friendly but formal tone, and be sure to mention that we spoke briefly at the conference last month.
Oh, okay. So you're basically giving it all the important details up front so it knows exactly what to do.
Exactly. And it's not just about the words themselves, but the intent behind them. This prompt engineering is like learning a new language.
And like any language, it takes practice to get fluent, right? Like learning how to write a good recipe, make something delicious isn't going to cut it. But if you give specific instructions, you might actually get what you want.
Exactly. And the podcast had another good example about this with Leonardo AI. Instead of just saying, give me a picture of a house, they said you got to get detailed, like design a modern farmhouse with a wraparound porch using earth tones and natural textures.
So it's all about being super specific with your language so the AI actually gets what you're going for.
Yes. And thinking about the purpose of what you're asking for. Like they kept saying, this prompt engineering, it's a skill. You know, you get better with practice.
It's like learning a new instrument. You're not going to be a rock star on day one.
Exactly. But once you get the hang of it, you can do some pretty amazing things. It's exciting, honestly.
It is exciting. It feels like this podcast was basically saying, hey, the future is here. Stop waiting for it and go build something awesome.
Yeah, they were definitely big on taking action. Don't just talk about AI, do something with it.
I love that. So for our listeners who are feeling that call to action, what's the one thing they should take away from all of this?
I think the biggest takeaway is that you don't have to be some kind of tech genius to use these tools. Like they're for everyone. So jump in and play around. Experiment, see what works.
That's what we always say. The best way to learn is by doing.
Exactly. And you might be surprised at what you're capable of creating with a little help from AI.
Absolutely. All right. That is going to do it for this AI-powered deep dive. A huge thank you to you and to all our listeners for joining us.
Until next time.
See you next time.